Alright, I'm back. We're going to talk about the prisoner behind us, the professor. The undead condemned prisoner. I believe we discussed the professor's case yesterday. In that incident, five high-ranking people lost their lives. The victims were killed by a giant hound that attacked them and tore out their throats. Okay, but I mean, if I stop now, that means I'll never come back to this. I need to keep going. This game gets good, I know it, and I can't stop here. A hound? Goodness, how horrible. Somehow they managed to arrest the culprit when the 5th victim was killed. It was a major incident for England. Therefore, the professor's trial was never made open to the public, and was instead conducted in absolute secrecy. I'm fine! Daijoubu desu! Absolute secrecy. So then, the true identity of the professor who was arrested. As you've already guessed, it was of course also never made public. Naturally, the verdict was guilty. The serial killer was condemned to hang. His remains were buried in Lowgate Cemetery behind the prison, but that wasn't the end of the incident. What? The very night that the remains were laid to rest, the condemned prisoner rose again. What do you mean, rose again? He dug himself out of his grave, up from the dark earth and into the moonlight. He appeared. This is the scene at the time, recreated based on eyewitness testimony. Eyewitness? It goes without saying, it was this young man in the lab coat. Enoch Drebber. The young man's identity. So the man represented by this wax figure is Enoch Drebber. 10 years ago, the condemned prisoner was hanged and his remains laid to rest, and in the middle of the night he rose again from his grave. There's only one witness who saw the occurrence, and this is him. By the look of him, he appears to be a young man about 20 years old. Goodness. He was in a state of half-madness as he ran to the police to report what he witnessed. Apparently the young man had been so terrified that his hair had gone completely white in the space of just that single night. I don't believe that's true. True, the man in the photo does have snow-white hair. Within several days, his eyewitness account was splashed across the front page of newspapers all over London. The citizens of the Great British Empire were worked into a frenzy by the story of the undead prisoner, and this very exhibit ended up being created, and that's the story. I can certainly understand how all a person's hair could go white after witnessing a terrifying scene like this one. But I wonder what Drebber-sama was doing there in the first place. What could have brought him to a lonely cemetery such as this one in the middle of the night? Good point. Holmes, you're keeping a lot of things from us in this game. After the execution. 10 years ago, the professor had the upper echelons the upper echelons of London society quaking with fear. It was a huge scandal. I suppose you could say all sorts of rumors were flying about due to the fact that his identity was never revealed. After all, a serial killing incident in which a dog was used as the weapon was unprecedented. I can kind of imagine. But eventually all the rumors died down. And that young man's shocking eyewitness account of the undead prisoner was dubbed a suspicious ghost story, or an amusing trifle, and faded from the public's memory.
And why was that?
There never was any undead prisoner. That fact was proven.
There wasn't? What's that supposed to mean?
A press conference was held by the police who searched the prisoner's grave at Lowgate Cemetery. They reported that the prisoner's remains were unmistakably still buried there.
But then, this man, Enoch Drebber, did he lie to the police and newspapers?
That's the only thing that makes sense. After that, the young man vanished from public view, but I think the next news we heard of him would be like this.
It's impossible for a death row inmate who's been executed to rise again, but he experienced such terror that all his hair turned white in a single night. For that to be dismissed as a lie, it just doesn't add up. What the bloody hell is this place? Well, Naruhodō? Gina-san, what are you doing here?
Oh, she still has the gun!
Oh, I asked Iris where you were, and she said you'd definitely be here. That's what she said!
Oh, well, at least she's not shooting at us.
Gina-sama, quiet in the museum.
If you don't keep it down, Maruho-san will make you the temporary wax figure. No, that was way too loud to even be worth shushing her.
Well, look, I still had these fireworks left over from 6 months ago, so I still had them.
What the heck?
Okay, oh, very well, we understand. Please put that weapon away. Can you blame me? It was scary.
What a mess. So, was there something you needed, Gina-san?
Don't was there something you needed me, Naruhodō? I found it! I found that dodgy bastard's factory!
What? No way!
You mean Enoch Drebber's? That's right, with the great and powerful Toby's nose. The boss and the others are on their way there in carriage right now, so you better come quick. This is the address. The boss wrote it for me. Thank you very much. We'll head over right away. All right, we'll be waiting.
She's so precious. I just love Gina's development. Uh-oh, hi Sherlock's. Yeah, go on. Just leave me here and dash off. Huh? Just go ahead and pretend I'm some pitiful wax figure, standing around, doing nothing.
Sulking with all his might.
Well, come on then, Home-san. I appreciate the invitation, but if I were to do something like that, I'd end up having to pay Madame Rousseau a fine. And Iris would go,
I'll pay the full amount with my scholarship payment.
What are we waiting for then, folks? I'll go call a carriage.
You could have at least said thanks for my willingness to part with my scholarship money. I can chip in half as well. Thanks so much. Anyway, let's go.
Oh, no. Precious child. Same day, unspecified time, Enoch Drebber's factory.
This is... it's a hyper-electric instant teleporter.
So it would seem, this must be a prototype.
Oh, you're here. Gina-sama, well done finding this place. It didn't even take that long. I knew you could do it. Nah, it's Toby's nose that deserves the credit.
Oh, I had a feeling you'd show up. Why you got your eyes closed?
Detective Gregson. He just got here. What's the face for?
He's munching away at his fish and chips with a sour look on his face.
Now Now then, Detective, any sign of that engineer?
Unfortunately, we still haven't seen nor hide nor hair of him.
I see.
Still, thank you so much for telling us about this factory. You said you lot were the ones who gave her the lead. I wouldn't feel right about heading off to Paris without paying off that debt. Aw, thanks, Detective Gregson. Anyway, if you intend to investigate this factory, you best hop to it. Or in fact, Zeke's and the folks from the Scientific Investigation Unit will be here before we know it. The Scientific Investigation Unit? I think you probably know this already, but not big fans of defense attorneys.
I understand.
Now, let's turn this place upside down and search every last inch, folks. Same goes for you, Holmes. That lot likes famous detectives even less than they like defense attorneys. You tell the funniest jokes, Junior Detective. Well, just imagine I'm a wax figure. Alright, let's check this factory over right away. Oh, this is rather interesting, don't you think? Yeah, that's a pretty fancy back massager. Naruhodō! I bet if you whack yourself on the back with this, it eases the stiffness in your shoulders pretty well. That's a Royal Science Award trophy. It's quite an achievement for a young scientist to receive one of these. Eh? I can still use it to whack you on the shoulders with if you want. No. That's alright. I had no idea it was such an important item.
It appears that he's not just a magician after all. Enoch Drebber-sama, I mean.
Ugh. I'd say not. You sure you don't want to take this with you, Mr. Naruhodō? Your shoulders are stiff, aren't they? Give it a rest, would you? I can't believe this.
In any case, you'd think he'd display it a bit more nicely, considering how important it is. Men can be so difficult to understand sometimes.
Science Award Trophy. A Royal Science Award Trophy found at Drebber's factory. It's the highest honor a young scientist can receive. What's this?
It's an airplane. Humanity has finally gained the ability to fly at will.
So, that means it's part of some magic trick, right? In other words, it's suspended from something, right? With thin but durable rope?
Oh, but I've heard they actually are able to fly for real.
They're just suspended from an even higher place. There's no way a hunk of metal like this could actually fly.
Why don't you just go play with the one hanging from the ceiling?
Why is Naruhodō so precious? I can't... He's much.
You mustn't touch that. It's still covered under the special provisions for the protection of science and technology law. If you poke your head in there, you'll be harshly punished in the name of Her Majesty the Queen and the government.
Those two poked their head in without any hesitation at all. There's nothing inside. There's no trace of the inner mechanism or the secret to the trick here, folks.
There aren't any coins for me or pieces of bone for Toby either, folks. The English certainly are uninhibited, aren't they?
I think it's less the English as a whole and more just these two. Hello, those are arrows. This is a Western-style quiver, and it's full of steel arrows.
Don't tell me these arrows.
They're made to be shot from a crossbow. and they're just the right size to fit the crossbow found at the scene of the crime.
So that must mean...
Looks like we've just found one piece of evidence. Evidence that Drebber was the one pulling the strings behind that magic trick. Crossbow found lying as if hidden in the shade of... It's an update. The only update they added was it belongs to Enoch Drebber. I didn't feel like reading the same dialogue again.
This door doesn't seem to want to open. You're telling me it's secured by a pretty serious lock.
A locksmith from the yard is on his way over as we speak. Don't touch it. If you'll permit me, I can have this open within 60 seconds. That's if I permit you, and no one's going to be doing that. Oh, this Sherlock's like sad. Detective Grayson looks pretty happy about getting to shut him down.
I don't sense anyone on the other side of that door. Perhaps this means that Enoch Drebber already managed to escape.
Oh.
Huh?
What is this, Susato-san?
I believe I just heard some sort of noise from the other side of that door. What do you think, Gino-sama? I heard it too. What about you, Toby?
Out of the way! Anyone in there? It's Scotland Yard! Open up! That sounded like someone escaping.
There's someone inside.
I don't think they're inside anymore. Still lock. Junior Detective Gregson, as I said before. If you'll permit me, I can have this open within 60 seconds. Fine then. I'll take responsibility for this decision. Do something about that. There! It's open! That was way too fast. Well then, folks, let's head inside, shall we? Got no choice. It's an emergency. The mechanical engineer might be hiding out behind that door. Proceed with caution, folks.
Right.
Holmes is a blessing. That looks like dynamite, and there's a timer on it. What happened to this room? Everything got flipped over?
Damn it! Looks like there's no one in here after all. But we definitely heard a sound from in here earlier.
Enoch Drebber.
Did he get away? But there's only one door to this room.
Not only that, but there don't appear to be any windows you can enter or leave by. Those skylights are too high up. But there are footprints on there? What's going on with these windows? There are marks up on the wall that look like footprints. Over here! Can we talk about the dynamite? It looks like someone tried to burn something in the fireplace in a hurry.
These are blueprints.
Blueprints? You mean the blueprints for Benjamin Dirtpaw's useless device? Ah, if only we had these, we wouldn't have needed to waste so much time investigating the remains. There's something quite fascinating over here as well. Guys, the dynamite! I wonder what this bit of rope lying by the pillar was used for. Rope? Is there something wrong with it? No, it's fine. You're merely seeing, not observing.
In any case, let's have a good look around this room before the scientific investigation unit shows up.
talk about the diamond?
The furniture. It's all been flipped upside down.
Not even Home-san's room is this much of a mess.
Considering what a mess your own room is, I don't think you're in any position to talk.
Either way, what's really strange about this room is not the fact that it's messy, but the fact that everything's been flipped over.
What on earth could have caused this?
Those are obviously footprints.
Yes, they certainly seem to be, but I don't see an explanation as to how they could have gotten there.
You don't have anything like Susato Flight, kind of like your Susato Toss?
Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't have any superpowers.
True. I can't see those footprints on the ceiling having been made by anyone without some, excuse me. Look at that. It's so small and cute, but it looks just like a real hot air balloon.
It might actually be using hot air to remain in the air.
A green hot air balloon. I can't help being reminded of that crazy illusion. Don't tell me. He ran a simulation of his illusion here in this factory.
Oh, he did move! Whoa, he moved! I didn't even realize he moved!
What are you examining over there, Home-san?
A bomb?!
Oh, Mr. Naruhodō! I found something rather interesting over here. What does this look like to you?
You mean this?
Never seen anything like it. It looks like a bunch of fat cigars with a fat watch wrapped in—
Ah!
What is it, Susato-san? Why did you scream?
That's a time bomb, isn't it?
But ridiculous! Did you say a time bomb?
Time bomb?
Gino's even more confused!
Sorry. But what exactly is a time bomb?
He is so precious! Like, what the heck? Classic Mr. Naruhodō for you!
He laughed at me.
Huh. You don't know anything, do you, Naruhodō?
You have no idea either, do you, Gina-san? Well, we'll let Mr. Naruhodō look it up in his dictionary later. But this isn't a time bomb, though it certainly resembles one.
It's not? But then, what in the world is it?
It's not real? Oh, thank God, because otherwise I'm like, man, they should be dead by now. Apparently, that's what's going on here.
Wait, did you figure it out, Home-sama?
Makes me incredibly sad sometimes. Sad that, unlike the rest of you, I shall never be able to experience the uneasiness that comes from being baffled by the unknown. But that's the fate I must accept, having been born a famous detective, Mr. Sato. We made it all this way, and it's finally time for Home-san's famous deduction. I've once again come to two conclusions. The first is this. The way this room is, with everything flipped upside down, was done by Drebber himself.
It was?
And the other conclusion is that the small device sitting here is, without a doubt, the real deal.
Didn't you just say it's not?
Home-sama, please, would you explain that all that to us?
Yes, very well. Training the fledgling chicks at Scotland Yard is part of a famous detective's job as well, after all.
Gregson's face!
That's quite the glare Detective Gregson is giving Home-san.
Oh, bless.
Home-sama is deflecting the detective's gaze with incredible force of will.
Now I shall perform a deduction dedicated especially to Miss Susato. Would you mind standing right here for me, Miss Susato?
Alright. I'd be glad to.
Very well. In that case, let's get started right away. On Sherlock Holmes' Reasoning and Deductive Experimental Theater, I've seen one footage of this deduction, and it's pretty amazing what happens. They went all out with the joint reasoning in this game. First topic, the state of this room. 1 second, I need to move a thingy so I can see better. As you can clearly see, this room is in a terrible state. The bed, the table, the chairs, the lamp, everything has been overturned. It's almost as if everything in this room was lifted up to the ceiling and dropped on the floor from there.
Everything on the ceiling? You can't mean...
Indeed. The important thing to note here is... gravity. It seems that science and technology has finally succeeded in liberating us from life on the ground. Gravity in this room was reversed, and then returned to normal.
What?
It's the upended furniture that reveals the facts about the gravity. No, it's alright, Miss Osato. I'm having difficulty believing it myself. But the moment I saw this, I knew it was the truth. This anti-gravity device. It looks just as it did in the dream I had the other day.
But this device appears to have a clock attached to it.
Yes, the clock functions as a timer to determine when the gravity would be restored. That engineer needed a way to automatically restore the gravity he reversed. The loud noise we heard earlier was the sound of the gravity in this room being restored. This anti-gravity device was the reason everything in this room got upended. That appears to explain everything regarding the state of this room. Enoch Drebber reversed gravity in this room. And then he used this timing device to restore it. I saw all this in a dream the other day when I actually rolled off the bed while napping. I just facepalmed. Oh my god, what this? Wasn't that visually amazing to watch though? Okay, the gravity in this room was reversed. Second topic, the missing engineer. Now then, let us turn to the next issue at hand. Namely, what was our charming little mechanical engineer trying to accomplish? The clue that indicates the answer to that appears to be up there. Why, how did a pair of footprints get all the way up there? Oh, whoops, that's Susato. What? Yeah, it was Susato. How indeed? That's the clue that shall lead us to the next fact. It's really hard because I have to look at the script because I can't read the Japanese, so... The reason for the footprints on the ceiling lies in the skylight beside them. Drebber had but one objective, and that, of course, was to escape. But this room has only one door, aside from these skylights.
Ah.
Whoa, whoa! Oh my god, that's so trippy! This is so trippy! Drebber, having reversed gravity in this room, stood on the ceiling and proceeded to escape through the skylight. That's when the footprints got there.
But the ceiling in this room is rather high. Wouldn't he have hit the ceiling if he suddenly reversed the gravity in here?
Plunging to the ceiling, eh? Scientifically, it would have been a fascinating spectacle. Finding himself cornered, he'd had to manipulate gravity and escape through the skylight. Actually, I happened to find this in this room when I was searching it earlier.
Oh, it's,
I know, right, Vault? I'm so sad it's not out in the West. In order to fulfill his objective properly, he needed to use this rope. By wrapping this around the pillar, he could lower himself safely onto the ceiling. That's how Drebber was able to escape safely from this room. Drebber reversed the gravity in this room and escaped through the skylight. Personally, I'm wishing to try reversing the gravity again myself. The engineer escaped through the skylight. This has been Sherlock Holmes' famous deduction.
Gregson! Susano's just like, I'm so happy.
He seems a little dazed after having been allowed to bask in that famous deduction at such close range.
Oh, Susanoo!
There's one thing that's bothering me about all that, Home-san. Ah, you seem to be fated to be bothered by one thing all throughout your life. Is it actually possible? An anti-gravity device, I mean? At the very least, with our current late 19th century technology, I can assure you that it's just as impossible as a teleportation device. Then that whole thing was pointless. But I have a saying. Once you eliminate every impossible hypothesis, you'll be left with the one real truth, regardless of how improbable it may be. Right. Well, pretty spiffy saying, isn't it? Guess what? It's one of my lines. Iris came up with that one for me. Now that you mention it, I feel like I might have read it in a book I borrowed from Susanoo-san. There's one more thing, Home-sama. Bless her objection. Susanoo seems to have returned to her senses at last. With regards to that rope, you found it lying on the floor, correct? Yes, it was coiled up sadly in the corner over there. But if Drebber-sama really had climbed down that in order to escape, then shouldn't that rope still be tied to the pillar? Mysteries always come unraveled eventually. It's the same with ropes. After all mysteries facing us just came unraveled thanks to this piece of evidence. I can't help feeling that it only made things even more tangled, personally. It looks like we ought to lend him a hand again this time. Let's tease the truth out of Home-sama's famous deduction. Yeah, we better. Or Enoch Drebber manages to get too far. Very well, in that case, let's get started right away. On Sherlock Holmes, Reasoning and Deductive Experimental Theater. I think after this, I'll probably be done. I don't know, I got 30 more minutes on here, I guess. The state of this room. As you can clearly see, this room is in a terrible state. The bed, the table, the chairs, the lamps, everything has been overturned. It's almost as if everything in this room was lifted up to the ceiling and dropped on the floor from there. Everything on the ceiling? You can't mean... Indeed. The important thing to note here is... gravity. It seems that science and technology has finally succeeded in liberating us from life on the ground. The gravity in this room was reversed, and then returned to normal. Huh? It's the upended furniture that reveals the fact about the gravity. I was quite stunned to hear that the gravity in the room had been reversed. I expect nothing less from the great Detective Home-sama. But he said himself that it was absolutely impossible. Yes, I think we better scrap that explanation. Whoa, you're not cutting him any slack, huh? Once you eliminate the impossible, what remains must be the truth. Those were also Home-sama's words. I wouldn't mind entering those anti-gravity fantasies of it for a bit longer, personally. True. I can certainly understand how you feel. Everything was upended by the reversal of gravity. Let's have a good look around to determine whether that's really true. Hey, there's a flower growing here. Oh my! Whatever could this... A delicate little life in full bloom in this slender vase that looks ready to tip over at any moment.
It's a refreshing sight in this ravaged room, isn't it? To be honest, I got a slightly different feeling from it. An upright base. This is what reveals the truth about the gravity.
Oh, coming at it from an even more roundabout angle than usual, are we, Mr. Naruhodō? Perhaps you were just trying to show off for Miss Susato.
I don't really know that anyone would be impressed by this.
In any case, at first glance, all the furniture appears to have been upended, but then there's this awfully slender vase, standing up right here, looking cool as a cucumber. Unlike that safe there, it's not bolted down to the floor. There's a safe?
This single exception means that the original explanation doesn't hold water.
In other words, yep, that's Sherlock. In other words, though it pains me to greatly say this, that means that the gravity in this room was never reversed! It looks like it really does pain him greatly. Also, what the heck? What happened? The music just stopped.
Oh, Home-sama, you poor dear.
Oh, bless Takumi and his team. Bless them so much right now. Anyway, let's rein in our disappointment and continue our deduction. Now that the possibility of an anti-gravity device has vanished, there is but one remaining possibility.
So there was another one?
That all this furniture was swiftly flipped over by someone.
That seems fairly obvious, but there's still one mystery remaining.
Who on earth would that someone do such a thing? Indeed, naturally there is a reason for all this upending. This anti-gravity device was the reason everything in the room got upended.
He seems really determined to work that device in, doesn't he? It seems that he can't bring himself to discard his romanticism of science.
But he's right. If someone went to the trouble of upending all this stuff, then they must have had a reason for it.
I can't see it at all.
Anyway, let's start by having a good look at the present state of things, shall we? Oh! Hi! There are numbers here!
The underside of this chair, there's something written on it. It says, safe, 432582. Safe must mean not dangerous, right?
Naruhodō!
Yes, or it could refer to a vault.
I guess that's the obvious choice, isn't it?
Come to think of it, there is a rather large safe bolted to the floor over there.
And this must be the combination we need in order to open it.
But what's the code doing there?
Oh no, is this about the lottery? Oh, I know about this one! This safe combination was the reason everything in this room got upended. Precisely! It would seem, Mr. Naruhodō, that you and I remember something similar.
Yes, it happened last year. When I bought a lottery ticket, I recorded the numbers I'd chosen in a book, just to be safe.
Exactly! Humans are the types of creatures who write down important numbers somewhere to be sure they don't forget them.
You get to keep the lottery ticket, so I don't really understand the purpose, though.
So, how did that turn out, Mr. Naruhodō?
When the day of the drawing came, I couldn't remember the book I'd written the number in, and flipped through every book I owned, searching desperately for it.
Exactly! Humans are the type of creatures who forget where they wrote their reminders to themselves.
I'm fairly certain I wouldn't forget, though.
You know what I realize? I just realized it now. I don't know why it didn't hit me until now. Susato is participating with Naruhodo's side of the deduction. Like, not just conversating while they're looking for it. Like, she's actually being involved in the deductions. Oh my god. This is amazing. By the way, it turned out that I won the second prize, but... Is he moving his eyes? I couldn't remember which magazine I tucked the winning ticket in, so I went through my whole room. That's enough about that, Mr. Naruhodo. What this means is that the same thing happened in this room. The owner of this room, wanting to open the safe, remembered only that he'd written the combination on the bottom of some piece of furniture. That appears to explain everything regarding the state of this room. Enoch Drebber overturned the furniture in this room, and he was desperately searching for the combination to the safe. He was trying to find the combination to the safe. Solved! The missing engineer. Now then, let us turn to the next issue at hand. I'm just having a good dance over here. I'm having a good time. Namely, what was our charming little mechanical engineer trying to accomplish? The clue that indicates the answer to that appears to be up there.
Why, how did a pair of footprints get all the way up there?
How indeed? That's the clue that shall lead us to the next fact. The reason for the footprints on the ceiling lies in the skylight beside them.
Now that we know gravity was never reversed, what could footprints be doing in a place like this?
I feel like the mystery actually seems even more difficult now.
That's true. I can't come up with any other explanation. Oh, I miss when it was caused by reverse gravity.
I mean, that was never true to begin with, so...
Let's just trust Home-sama and have a careful look around.
Not sure there's anything to base our trust on, though. Okay, there's a shoe on top of this hot air balloon. It's a difficult thing to believe right away, but there's a shoe up there.
There are also footprints on this small hot air balloon. You can probably assume that the shoe was thrown and got stuck up there.
Judging by the number of footprints, it seems to have been thrown several times. But why would anyone throw a shoe up there in the first place?
Oh, I'm afraid the answer to that question is a bit beyond me.
I don't know either. The reason for the footprints on the ceiling lies in the shoe beside them. This puzzling hot air balloon seems to be covered in footprints. In other words, it wasn't aiming for the ceiling, but the hot air balloon.
But why would he do such a thing?
A green hot air balloon, huh? That sounds awfully familiar, doesn't it?
Oh! Found green balloon fabric at the scene of the accident.
There was a second cage inside the green hot air balloon that Gatsukun witnessed during the accident. And that was the secret behind that crazy illusion.
You can't mean...
That hot air balloon is a model of the one at the experiment. And it's possible that there's something hidden inside it. Something that he tried desperately to retrieve before he fled. But we have no way of reaching that hot air balloon from down here.
That's why
he threw something. A shoe, to be precise. Oh. He was probably thinking he could pop the hot air balloon with a strike from the shoe. But it didn't go as planned and he lost his shoe as well.
Oh, I'm suddenly deeply curious about the hot air balloon. Isn't there any way we can look inside?
Actually, I happened to find this in this room when I was searching it earlier.
Oh, it's,
In order to fulfill his objective properly, he needed to use this rope.
Suddenly, the rope got dragged into the deduction.
One second. I guess the only thing I can say about that is that I should have known it would. What if we throw the ropes that it gets caught on the hot air balloon and reel it in?
When you just say it, it sounds like it would be a fairly simple matter, but we have no way of knowing how long that would take.
I see. There is a more reliable way. And we just so happen to already have it.
We do? The crossbow? Yee!
What the heck is going on? We just presented stuff from our thing. What? What is this joint reasoning? This is amazing! In order to fulfill our objective properly, we just need to use this crossbow.
This actually was found hidden at the crime scene.
And we can safely assume that this is Drebber's. He only taken it with him that day. He could have avoided losing his shoe at such a critical time. Did we just stop the joint reasoning all of a sudden? Now then, shall we give this a try? You two are curious as well, right? About what Mr. Enoch Drebber hid inside that hot air balloon. Oh! It's part of a wax figure? Why does he have it? What is going on? It certainly looks that way. It's a wax head with a metal mask over it. The mask is secured by a standard lock. It doesn't look like it can be broken. Oh, I guess Sherlock isn't the master of unlocking. I guess that means we can't look at the face under the mask.
Just a moment. That wax head. It couldn't be.
It appears that Mr. Sato has caught on. The headless wax figure. It must be related to the kidnapping incident you mostly solved. That serial killer's head was the only thing still missing, wasn't it? Precisely. Looks like I can finally be upfront and ask Madame Prasad for compensation now. This is clearly the professor's head. The professor?
But what's it doing here?
It looks like this settles it. The one who kidnapped the professor from Madame Prasad and sent the rest of him back today was Enoch Drebber.
Oh my god. Incident with Dr. Dirtpour and the wax figure kidnapping case were just finally proven to be linked by Enoch Drebber's factory.
Whoops. Wax figurehead, the head of the professor's statue, found at Drebber's factory, was kidnapped from the special exhibit room. Oh. It looks like this is the end of our reasoning journey. We'll just need to get the rest of the story straight from the horse's mouth. And now we're back!
Horse's mouth?
You mean Enoch Drebber? He wasn't able to escape through the skylight, which means, naturally, he must still be hiding somewhere inside this room.
Huh?
Where is he right now? That's obvious. If you look back at the path of logic we've followed thus far, Enoch Drebber is hiding somewhere in this room. In the safe! I leave the rest to you, Mr. Naruhodō. Alright. Enoch Drebber's hiding place is... Oop. Oh shit, sorry, I don't have the dialogue. I'm sorry. My bad, I meant to present. Boom! Go, go, go! Let's go! Let's do it! Let's do it! Let's do it! Ah! This is so great! I love it! Before we enter this room, we heard a noise on the other side of the door. In other words, our charming little engineer was still in here at that time. Drebber-san was using that time to search for the combination to the safe. He left the furniture all overturned, lacking the time to put it right again. Which means that he'd been conducting his search mere moments ago. Which in turn means that Mr. Enoch Drebber is at this very moment hiding inside this safe. This concludes Sherlock Holmes' famous deduction. The engineer is in the safe. Oh man, can I need 5 million screenshots of that entire deduction because that was beautiful. Holy crap. Now then, Mr. Naruhodō. Shall we put an end to this merry game of hide and seek? You want me to open the safe? Precisely! I think the combination was 1...
It's 432582.
That's like the same amount of numbers that his student ID is, I think, actually. I knew that! I knew that! Well, here goes. Did you really, Naruhodō? You started with a 1. Hi! We found him. He just rolled out. What? What? Oh man, what is this track? Mr. Enoch Drebber, I presume. Yes, that's me. You tricked Dr. Dirtpour with that device, didn't you?
You're going to explain why you took Madame Rassad's wax figure as well.
I would love to sit down and have a leisurely conversation with all of you, but... Personally, I recommend disarming that first. That?
Disarm?
Naturally, I'm referring to... the time bomb you just left over there.
Huh?
Aha. Very well. In that case, everyone. Would you care to die with me?
Huh?
What?
Honestly, Holmes-sama, we were down to our last 7 seconds.
Oh! Thanks to that, we'll all have dead from terror. I never know whether to consider you an enemy or an ally.
Holmes-sama's deductions can be a life-endangering yet powerful substance.
Wow, that was a close one, folks. I mean, this thing looked just like an anti-gravity device.
There's no such thing.
Wow, that was almost terrible. That's Holmes-san for you. I can't. Hold on. How much do I have left in here? How close am I? I don't think I'm anywhere close to the end. I'm like trying to... Oh! Okay. I'm going to finish this because we're going right into the courtroom after this. So I'm going to finish this. It's like, I want to stop because I can't take it anymore. This is too much. This track is so fantastic, too. What happened? This room is in quite a state. What in the world happened here? You managed to find me. Surely you don't need to ask that, right? I'll just say that it happened, or as you surmised. But we'll be conducting a full-scale investigation on this place later, Mr. Engineer.
Regardless, I never imagined that someone might actually find me here. As soon as I heard the whistling from inside the factory, I realized that I better make a run for it. Whistling?
Oh, that was me!
Huh?
I'm in a usually good mood today. He's strangling his fish and chips like he'd strangle Holmes-san.
But, like a fool, I couldn't remember the combination to the safe. And, even more foolishly, I forgot which bit of furniture I'd written it on.
Come to think of it, we found a piece of rope in this room.
I tried to escape through the skylight, but the rope was too short. So, I had no choice but to try my hardest to find the combination to the safe.
You must have tried to burn and dispose of those incriminating blueprints before that. It was only the head and the hot air balloon that you couldn't recover in time. His smile is so unnerving. And then you went and hid in the safe? After setting this thing?
Well, personally, I would have preferred not to be caught.
I'm pretty sure it probably would have been safe in that safe. Time bomb.
But honestly, a time bomb? Were you trying to get yourself killed? Why do you think I chose the safe as my hiding place? This is a custom-made safe that can withstand a dynamite blast without so much as flinching.
In other words, it was the only safe place in this room to weather the blast.
That's right. But how were you planning to get out after shutting yourself in that safe? Try looking a bit closer. There's a handle on the inside that allows the safe to be opened from the inside.
You're right.
I was planning to dispose of this room at some point anyway. But to think you lot would come barging in before I even managed to do that. Damn you! You tried to blow us away with that bomb, didn't you? No. To be honest, that was unexpected.
Unexpected? Most people would run if they saw a time bomb lying on the floor in front of them.
Oh. I'd programmed it to give you enough time to get away.
I never imagined that you might just putter around the room and not go anywhere.
Greg's face! This is comedy gold!
Something I can help you with, Junior Detective.
He's so done!
Is there something on my face besides my eyes, nose, and mouth? I think we basically understand what went on here. So, would you mind telling us about the incident? About the device you built for Dr. Dirtpour and the wax figurehead here. What's this thing even doing here?
It's just a plain old head. The head of the professor. The serial killer's true identity is protected by a lock so strong that even I can't open it. I figured I might as well hold on to it for good luck. After all,
That's enough!
Detective Gregson,
What's the meaning of this?
I believe you're aware that the only ones with the right to investigate this place are us.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Sith. She must be in the Scientific Investigation Unit, huh?
I believe you're also aware that this engineer is a vital witness. Passing unnecessary information to a defense attorney like this.
Lord Vortex finds out. You'd be done for. Gregson, no! In any case, I order you to get out of here at once. Now, folks! Surely there's no reason to be at each other's throats like this. Long time no see, Dr. Sith. Hello, Sherlock Holmes. Holmes-san and Dr. Sith know each other? There's no need to protect that device so fiercely. After all, it's entirely empty. Get out! Alright, we're going. Strict as ever, I see. Mr. Naruhodō! Yes. It seems that we need to call it a day on our enjoyable investigation. But, Holmes-san... Come now, let's leave this place in their capable hands. Go, get out, all of you, this instant. You're not needed here, Detective Gregson. Understood. But allow me to say just one thing. If this defense attorney and the others weren't here, we would never have found his factory. And even if we had, it had been reduced to rubble by now. They're the ones who disarmed this time bomb. Detective Gregson. Oh, bless you! What are you laughing at, Enoch Drebber? Ah, pardon me. I suppose you're correct. You did indeed disarm that time bomb. But just that one. What do you mean? That time bomb. Oh! Oh no! Oh! It was an hour later that we found out about that incident. The huge explosion on the special stage at the World's Fair exhibition grounds caused by that time bomb blew away the secrets of Dr. Durpor's device permanently. Oh my god. Oh no, I hope they're not dead! Oh my god. Oh. Oh. Oh, I cannot continue this. I really cannot. But you know what? I'm going to go into this for a couple minutes because I want to just see Mr. Mass Disciple because I need to see this. He's got some really fun animations here. I'm going to start this, but I won't get too far into this because there's no way my voice is going to be able to keep this up. It's October 24th, 9:11 a.m. O'Bailey's Defendant's Lobby. Good morning, Mr. Naruhodō. I'll do my best for you again today, Dr. Dirtpour. Even someone like me, hopeless as I am, good morning, folks! Holmes-san, you came. On time. Of course I did. A gentleman always comes running to support a friend in his battle. Thank you so much. Well, I'll talk to you afterwards then. Listen, Dr. Dirtpour, just try to relax today, alright? Don't come running up onto the witness stand without being summoned like you did yesterday. I won't. Of course. I'll do my very... Not so fast, folks! What is it, Holmes-san? You're awfully persistent. Never mind that. I think you owe me some serious praise right now. Huh? For what? After all, the Holmes, known all over the world for being a dreamer, managed to wake up early this morning. If that's not a miracle, I don't know what is. Maybe it is, but I don't know what you want me to do about that. Do you have any idea the measures Iris went to wake me with someone who sleeps like the dead? She yanked off my blankets, shook me, smacked my face, punched me, literally kicked me out of bed. For boiling hot herb tea on my face, and then apparently I finally woke up.
That certainly does seem like a lot of effort.
Guess there's nothing Irish-chan can't do.
I really get a sense of her scientific spirit, thinking to use herb tea to carve out new possibilities.
Hey, the one you should be praising isn't Iris, it's me! Pardon me.
Detective Gregson, good morning.
Hey, you're looking depressing right off the bat this morning.
Can only be because I had to see the face of someone who depresses me.
Oh dear. Did you hear what he just said about you, Doctor? I'm pretty sure he wasn't talking about him. Poor Dr. Dirtpour.
Anyway, these are the documents I was asked to give you.
Documents? Yeah, I asked him yesterday to get you those. I thought you might be needing them.
Honestly, I got quite the interrogation from very powerful people for bringing these documents out. It's the professor's autopsy report.
The professor? The crazed serial killer who slayed 5 nobles.
5 years ago, he was found guilty in an unpublicized top-secret trial and executed at once. This is the record of that.
Serial killer autopsy report. The autopsy report of the crazed serial killer, the professor, who was executed 10 years ago after being found guilty in an unpublicized trial.
Thank you very much, Detective Gregson.
You have my thanks as well, Junior Detective.
I just can't win against you, the expert famous detective.
Anyway, Dr. Dirtpour, everything will be decided today.
Please try to hang in there, Please try to hang in there, Dirtpour-sama. Do you think he'll be making an appearance today? Enoch Drebber, I mean. Yes, he should have been subpoenaed as a witness for the prosecution. I never thought you'd manage to find him in just one day. Thank you so much.
Defendant, defense! It's almost time for court to convene. Proceed to the courtroom at once. Subpoena is also a very hard word to say. It's time at last for the decisive battle. My heart is beating unusually fast. It's a premonition, unlike any I've ever had before. A premonition that in this trial, I'm going to be facing something huge. I can't let myself get agitated. There's only one thing I should be focused on. The truth, and nothing else. Just let me see the introduction, and then we'll be good. Same day, 9:30 in the morning, Old Bailey, Supreme Court. He's there. He's here.
Now then, I declare this trial to be in session in the name of Her Majesty the Queen. We shall now reconvene the just trial of the defendant, Benjamin Dirtpour. The court now asks the prosecution and defense. Are you both perfectly prepared to make your cases?
The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready. An apprentice who lost both his name and his memories, huh?
A word, if you please, Lord Van Zeeks.
Yes, Your Honor.
Who is that standing beside you?
His name is Damien. He's my apprentice. This case was anticipated to be a more complicated trial than any I've handled before. I was ordered to allow him to accompany me to ensure that the case proceeds smoothly. That was really extra! Things sure seem to be going smoother with the Lord's Chalice at this rate, at any rate.
That posture. There can be no doubt.
He lost his memory. There's nothing we can do about that right now.
I know that, but... It would appear that the prosecution has fulfilled the court's request admirably and managed to bring the mechanical engineer who vanished from the scene of the crime on the day of the incident into custody.
The prosecution intends to summon him as a witness later.
Later? Very well. Now, in that case, allow me to ask the 6 level-headed jurors selected from the population of the Imperial City. Are you prepared to perform your role in this trial?
Of course, it's our duty as citizens of the Imperial City. I can't stand frauds or cheaters.
Using magic trick to make someone's life. As a magician, to take someone's life. As a magician, I won't stand for it.
Dishonest scientists will face God's wrath.
I will give both sides' cases fair considerations, and then make a decision. Is that right?
Things were better back in the day. They weren't like this.
Now then, Prosecutor Van Zeeks, please begin.
First, there is one thing I'd like to report to the court.
Fuck! Duck! I can't do this now! Yesterday, I can't do this. Yesterday, what the crap?
The hyper-electric instant teleportation device, the most important piece of evidence in this case, was bombed by persons unknown.
What? Bombed?
That's so dishonest.
I received that information from the yard as well. The device was blasted to bits, and the fire from the explosion burned away everything.
Here is a photo showing the state of the crime scene. You can see the limited remains that were still left at the crime scene.
This certainly is terrible.
So he blew it up in order to destroy the evidence, huh?
Enoch Drebber. The court accepts this photo into evidence.
I can't take this. This is gonna happen the entire trial?
Accident scene photo. A photo of the stage where the device was, which was blown up by a time bomb. The wire mesh on the floor has been blown open. I can't do this for the entire trial. I can't do this. This is gonna be happening the entire time tomorrow. I can't! Late yesterday afternoon, the special provision for the protection of science and technology, which had been protecting the device, was lifted. However, before a proper investigation could begin, the evidence was lost forever. Also, I'm saying duck because I'm trying to stop myself from saying the F word. So, yeah. That changes the situation completely. So if you hear me saying duck a lot, you know why. Given the circumstances, building a case for the authenticity of the device would evidence has been rendered permanently impossible.
That's an incredibly unfortunate state of affairs.
However, coincidentally, the fact that the victim's death was caused by the defendant is now obvious. Well, you see, the one who operated the device and caused it to go wild was the defendant himself.
The situation has changed completely, just as Prosecutor Van Ziek said. The defendant has admitted his to his own part in this. The defendant has admitted his own part in this.
There was a couple extra words there.
He admitted that the one responsible for causing the accident which robbed Mr. Kingsley of his life was him. But the doctor honestly had no idea that the two certain people were taking advantage of him. Two certain people? The engineer, Mr. Enoch Drebber, and the victim, Mr. Kingsley. What on earth happened behind the defendant's back? The defense revealed that and proved the defendant's innocence. There. The court understands the position of both the prosecution and the defense. Now then, Lord Van Ziek, you may call your first witness.
As you wish. We call the mechanical engineer Enoch Drebber to the stand. He's so munch. Oh. Your name and occupation, witness.
Enoch Drebber. My occupation is a bit of a mystery now. Even to me. Look at that black monocle. For some reason, he seems awfully familiar. Oh, I was thinking the same thing.
That claw hand, man. Yeah, he forgot. It's very upsetting.
According to my documents, you are currently under investigation for a different incident. Well, the kidnapping of a wax figure. I'm not entirely sure what that means, though.
That has nothing to do with this trial. Please, don't worry yourself over it. You're aware of the public experiment that was performed a few days ago at the London World's Fair, are you not? The hyper-electric instantaneous teleportation performed by the defendant.
Yes, I believe I did hear something about that. Apparently, a major accident occurred in the process.
The one who constructed that master device was you. We're already aware of this. Is that correct? Baroque, why are you doing this to him?
Yes, though I only built it as specified in the blueprints I was given.
Then we'd like to hear the witness's opinion regarding the device.
That device was the fruit of development modern science, which made the possibility of teleportation a reality.
What?
What? So then you intend to claim that that device was genuine?
Yes, it was. What a shame that it exploded like that. But we've already proven that that device had a trick behind it, making it a little more than stage magic. You've proven nothing of the sort. The only thing indicated in yesterday's trial was that it would be possible to reproduce the phenomenon that occurred during that experiment using stage magic. Simply that possibility and how it could have been done.
But in that case, the court will hear the witness's testimony regarding the device that you claim to have made.
Understood. Stopping there. Bless! What? I don't know how I'm gonna be able to handle myself tomorrow trying to do this trial with frickin' Mr. Apprentice over there doing silly stuff with Baroque. Like, what? Oh my god.